This is the Laverne Board of Zoning Appeals meeting, January 26, 2016, regular meeting, 5:30 p.m. The first order of business is to determine a quorum. We have a full board here this evening, so we do have a quorum. Has everyone had a chance to read the minutes from the previous meeting? Any comments, discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as written.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? None. Minutes are approved with this condition. We have a number of items that are new business this evening. The first one is the rear setback variance requested by BBS America Limited Liability Corporation, property located at 461 Walton Road. And that's a commercial zoning district, parcel owned by BBS America LLC. May we have the report, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The applicant is Mr. Barry Royal with BGS America. He is in the process of negotiating a potential sale of the business, and as such, was informed that he needed to combine his 4 lots into one. That's the existing BGS America mini storage operation on Waldron Road. And it's been here since roughly, it was platted as part of the Homewood Estates subdivision in 1961. You can see this is lot 5, and then we have 10, 11, and 12 that all comprise 461 Waldron Road. It is the belief that these 4 parcels were later combined via deed, but they were never replatted. And since they had been originally platted in the 60s, any kind of changing to the lot lines requires going back through the platting process. So Mr. Royal is in the process of going through the Planning Commission to do a final combination plat to combine the 4 of those into one parcel, which will then remove these lot lines that are bisecting the existing structures there. At this point, it was determined at the in the final plat process of the Planning Commission that these 2 northern buildings here, the back encroaches into the rear setback by about 2 to 5 feet, and it's C2 zoning that requires a 20-foot rear setback, and again, they both encroach by between 3 and 5 feet. So he is asking for a rear setback variance to allow those structures to remain as are, so that he can combine the parcels into one for the purpose of the final plat. Because of the history of the business and the parcel, it predates the history of the city and its regulations. No visible changes will occur after the granting of the variance, should the board decide to do so. It's staff's opinion that the granting of such will not be injurious to the harmony of the surrounding parcels or the neighborhood. There's been a sign posted on this property for several weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, and I've not actually received 1 phone call. And Mr. Royal is here on behalf of the application.
Mr. Royal, would you step to the podium, please? Would you raise your right hand, please? You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. State your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Barry Royal. Address is 155 McCaig Road, Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Okay. You heard the city planner's report. Do you have any comments that you'd like to add to it?
I've heard the report. We've had a lot of discussion about it. No, we've owned the property about 3 years, and we're not aware of this situation when we bought it 3 years ago. Of course, it was originally built in the late 90s, mid-90s, and we're trying to clean it up pursuant to the sale of the property. We have negotiated a sale, and the closing is scheduled for 2 weeks pending the hearing tonight.
If the variance is not approved, what would that require? Would that require you to tear up the road behind there and you wouldn't have access to that building then?
I honestly don't know. If the variance wasn't approved, whatever the city would require us to do. I don't know if it'd be demolishing some buildings that have been there over 20 years, or whatever planning would require to be done.
Okay. Do any of the board members have any questions?
There's a big ditch. There's a big ditch behind it, isn't it?
I'm sorry,
Isn't there a big ditch behind there where the water comes through?
There is a ditch behind it, but,
Behind your fence, so.
that ditch doesn't, there's a ditch beside it, there's a little ditch behind it. There also is a rear entrance to the property, to the street behind us. Cheerful place.
Are there any other questions? There being no more questions, we'll take a vote at this time. I'll entertain a motion to either approve or deny the petition.
Make a motion to approve.
There's been a motion made to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. We'll take a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed? There being none, it's approved.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. The second item of business is the front building setback variance for a proposed carport addition requested by Carlos Adana, property located at 302 South Lake Drive. And the parcel is owned by Carlos Adano. It's a R3 high-density residential zoning district. May we have the report, please?
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. The applicant is Mr. Carlos Aldana. He is present tonight. He owns the property at 302 South Lake Drive, which is part of the Heritage Valley East subdivision. He has you can see here, it's a rather irregularly shaped lot. It's about 0.29 acres, and it is a double frontage lot because it faces South Lake and Gale Lane. Because of that, the dwelling has to sit back 35 feet from both of those property lines, which it does. He has indicated he needs a little bit of extra storage due to the smallness of his lot, and he would like to build an attached carport, which would go in this location here. Because he has the double front lot, and I will show you. Okay. You can see the proposed carport is 20 by 25, and just the very small front corner will sit over the front setback by about a little less than 5 feet. It's really the only place he can attach anything, or really even put anything on his property. His rear is really too tight to utilize. And all the other requirements of the R3 district will be maintained. The side of it will be 10 feet off the property line as required over here on this side setback. So he's just asking for about a little less than a 5-foot variance for that front corner. And due to the fact that he's got so many challenging attributes of the lot based on the small size, the double frontage, it's staff's opinion this will not be injurious to the harmony of the surrounding parcels. Mr. Aldana has indicated it will match the house, the siding. It will be the same neutral color. I've received 3 phone calls from citizens in the nearby vicinity, and all 3, after I explained it to them, they were all verbally in support of Mr. Aldana's request. So.
Okay. You say the owner is here?
Yes, that is correct.
Would you take the podium, please, sir? Raise your right hand, please. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Carlos Aldana, 302 South Lake Core, Laverne.
Okay. The question that I have is, how much is the carport going to come forward toward the street beyond the rest of the front of the house?
About 30 foot from the street to the front of the carport.
I don't think you come back.
Is that the question?
I think he's saying that the front of the carport would be 30 foot from the street.
From the street.
He's not
That's not the
saying.
answer.
The front of the house is 35 feet,
Yeah.
and the front of the carport, so the carport's going to stick out 5 feet.
No, it'll be,
Yeah, I think it's
No.
still gonna be behind it.
it'll
if
be
you look
behind
at-
the house.
Right.
It'll be
It'll be behind the house?
behind the front of the house. It sits back behind the front of the house.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, thank you. Any other board members have questions?
I have one question. You're going to use the existing driveway to access the carport?
No, It's gonna be from, Garland Lane,
So you're gonna have 2 entrances now.
yeah,
You already got a fence up, hadn't you?
yes,
You got a gate already over that side of the road?
yes.
Any other questions?
There you go.
I'll entertain a motion to approve or disapprove the petition.
Make a motion to
Mr. Chairman,
approve.
before we go there, just want to just discuss the driveway again.
Yeah.
You know, having 2 driveways so close together becomes an issue.
Okay,
You know, understanding that the shortest distance is to Gale Lane, but having 2 driveways coming off of one lot poses a problem. I mean, I don't have an issue with the carport itself, it's just that the two entrance ways is going to be impose a problem, I believe.
okay, I'm not sure. It's either across the front of the house.
Here's the front house, here's the existing driveway.
Oh, I see. I thought it was gonna be over here. And it's gonna come this way here?
That's what's indicated here.
Will it be used for storage or parking?
It's for a car, you know,
A car, actually
Yeah.
carport.
carport.
Is there no way that you could put the carport on the other side of the house, facing the house on the right-hand side, between the side of the garage and where those trees are over there?
It's not enough room according to the step back, like 10 foot back from the proper line. It's not enough room to put it on.
See, there is space there, but there are trees right there too.
You think getting rid of the other driveway and,
I just having two close together is going to impose a problem, just for access.
yeah.
Okay, I don't have any further comment to make on that. Anybody else?
No.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a question for Christian or the codes, but is there a restriction on having two driveways there?
If he was to put a driveway, he would have to apply for a permit through codes, and they would have to make sure that it applies with all of the requirements that's in the code, so, if he can have another driveway, I mean, this request looks to me like it's just for the carport alone, and it's not approving a driveway, so, you know, if he gets approved for the carport, then he would probably, at that point, if he's wanting to use it for a car, which he says he is, he would have to go back to codes for one to pull this permit and then pull the permit for the driveway. And if he's not meeting the restrictions of the driveway, then he wouldn't be allowed to install it, or he would be back in front of this board for the driveway variance.
And the driveway's supposed to be 5 feet off the property line in residential district, so, Graham, is your concern the closeness to this driveway here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the question that comes to mind then is that if he plans on using that carport for a vehicle, and he's gonna have to get permission from codes to put another driveway over there, it would seem to me that he would wanna get the permission from codes before he went through the expense of putting a carport up and then couldn't use it. What do you think?
Yeah, that's something you could request him to do. I mean, he could, before you deny him, if that's what it seems like what's gonna happen, you know, if that's what's gonna happen and looks like denial, he may ask if this could be pushed to next month till he, you know, gets with codes to see if he can obtain a driveway permit. If that's something this board would like.
I don't have a problem deferring it for a month until he talks to codes.
Do you understand what we're driving?
Yes, I understand. I was gonna apply for the driveway, and if it's okay, I build it. If it no, there's no reason to put it on.
But I think you're better off finding out the driveway's going to work first,
Yes,
and then doing, you know, these are separate issues next month, but
Yeah.
let's get my recommendation is to get the approval on driveway first, that way there's no other issues come before this board for the 2 applications.
yes, sir.
Is it proper for the board here to put that off until next month?
You can ask the applicant to make sure that he understands the agreement. I think you have, but just to verify for the record that he's in agreement, the board's in agreement to do that. I don't think you need a motion if you just verbally both
Okay.
agree.
We plan on putting it off until next month if you're in agreement with that, so you have a chance to go to the codes and see if you can get permission for the driveway.
Okay.
If they grant the permission, then come on back, and then we'll discuss the carport.
Okay.
Is that all right with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what we shall do then.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. The next 4 items on here all deal with side setback variances submitted by the same individual, same builder of the property over there. Would you give us the report, please?
Certainly. Would you like them each individually for each lot?
I would say that if you want,
2 of them are roughly the same, and the last 2 are roughly the same, so,
well, 10 and 11 probably are the same. They're
Yes.
side by side, and
Correct.
36 and 3 is.
right, okay.
I think we'll need to vote on each one individually.
We'll have to
Yeah.
vote on each one
Right.
individually, but we can discuss them together.
Okay. Okay, we have 4 side setback variance requests, requested by Mitchell Bowman of Michael's Home. This is for the first phase of the ridge. And I guess we'll start with the first one, which is, now, all of these are zoned R1, which requires the 15,000 square foot minimum lot size, and the side setbacks are required to be 15 feet, which is the subject of all of these variance requests. You can see the parcel here. Again, this is only for phase 1. Now, this is the letter we received asking for the variance to change the 15-foot side setback to 10-foot to accommodate several buyers and their custom house plans, which do not fully fit within the building envelopes per the yard requirements, the required yard requirements, in addition to the developer's covenants and restrictions that were placed on the ridge. As you can see on the screen, it requires a side entry garage as well as a 2,500 square foot minimum. That's what the developer put on the ridge. And because of the side entry garage, there has to be an adequate turnaround for the cars to be able to make the turn into the garage. So you'll see on some of these plot plans that it appears that there's a lot of extra room that might be able to be played with, but you can ask Mr. Bowman how these individual plot plans, how they work individually with what he's proposing. So I will show you on the screen. This is the recorded plat of the ridge. The first one that we're talking about was lot 36, and that's just right in here. This is the individual plot plan for it. You can see it is for just the right-hand side, which is the northern boundary, where it meets lot 35, and he's asking to reduce that down from 15 to 10. This is the ridge. This is roughly, I apologize, but we've had some crazy weather. It's roughly in this vicinity. Unfortunately, 2 of the signs were knocked down from the weather, so. That is lot 36. I will move on to lot 4, which is on the same side and just up from 36. So again, it's these same. Okay, and here's 4. I apologize, it's actually on the opposite side of the road, right there. And here you can see this is also for this right-hand side. You can see that even though it looks like there's other available space in this building envelope, for them to be able to get into the garage would make it a little bit difficult to be able to shift the footprint. So, and then again, it's in that general vicinity. And we've got lot 10. This is of course, this is Lake Road. We've got 36, we've got 4. This is on the next sheet. So you've got 10 and 11 right in here. And this is 10, you can see lot 11, they share a boundary. So this is the requested area of setback, the variance. And if I move to the next one, this is one sign that is there. If we move to lot 11, which is immediately next door to lot 10, again, you will see because he's asking for a variance on this side, just like he's asking for a variance on this side. The houses on 10 and 11 could potentially be 20 feet apart as opposed to 30 feet apart, because they're, instead of the 15 on both sides, you'd have 10. So, that is, and again, that's the vicinity of that lot. Now, Mr. Bowman has indicated that, again, it's because of the specific custom home designs that do not fit within these building envelopes. Now, there are a lot of topographic challenges within the ridge, as we know. There's a lot of steep slopes. We've got some limiting constraints, sinkholes, farm pond, the existing gas line. None of these applications specifically call out any of those factors. However, Mr. Bowman is here and is happy to discuss these requests. There have, again, signs have been posted now for about 3 weeks. I've received three phone calls. All of the citizens were somewhat concerned about the need for the variance. That is my report.
Thank you. Mr. Bowman? Would you raise your right hand, please? You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you. State your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Mitchell Bowman, and I live at 1105 Creek Round Court, Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
The question that I have, Mr. Bowman, is that did you set or someone set the requirements for constructing the homes on those lots, did you not?
Well, y'all's standard is 15 feet. And let me tell you how this happened. We built out Martin's Bend, and Martin's Bend was 12 and a half feet. So they actually, before the plat recorded, which it has those notations on there, we were drawing all these custom plans up for these people that wanted to live there. And what happened was, is the house just, it's what the house they want, so it's just bigger, which cuts the turnaround down less than 26 feet. So when you're pulling a big vehicle or a full-size vehicle in the garage, you have to make 2 or 3 turns to get into the side. Now, that did say 2,500 square feet, but most of these houses, I believe, from memory, are around that 3,500 to 3,600 square foot is what they are. And they're used to dealing with Murfreesboro right now because Murfreesboro is 12 and a half feet. So it was just, you know, it was better for me to come and ask for this before than let something happen, you know, and ask for it. I truly don't believe that we will be asking for this anymore because now we're just going to tell them the standard is that. So, but, you know, from right now, the people wanting to buy there, they're all very good-sized homes. So,
Is there no other lot available for them to build that custom home on that would help have
no,
it
sir.
there?
No.
I must admit, I'm a little hesitant because it sounds like wholesale variances to me. And it, I think it compromises the purpose of the codes to have a standard that the neighborhood can rely on. Are there any other comments by the board?
Mr. Bowman, just a couple of questions. The houses are not built at the present time?
No, sir.
Okay.
Haven't started.
And each one of the 4, the lots have been sold and the people have decided on the layout of the house?
Yes, sir. It's pretty in-depth when you're talking about a 3,500 square feet.
Do you know what we're aware of that the people that back onto each other, looks like it was 11 and 10, are they aware of what's going on? Obviously, they're both buying the same type of home and have the same issue.
The 4 people are aware of it, but we tried to change all the other ones that we had like 5 or 6 more, so we got them to change. I think these are instances because maybe mother-in-law apartments or stuff like that. But I didn't want to notify the whole neighborhood what was going on, and I think that's why she got phone calls, because I would probably be up there doing this again, and I don't think that that's dealing with this situation. You know, this is just something that initially happened. I do not think it's going to compromise because these houses, as you can see, are very cut up. These are not boxes. So you know, I'm the developer too, so I'm not going to do anything that's going to compromise the subdivision and the looks. And I really don't feel like that there's any reason that it would.
So are all 4 in the same phase?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so what you're saying is, if this was approved, that you would not come back for any other phases, for any other issues of this format?
I would not prior to. The only thing that could happen then is if something was not staked out correctly or somebody made a mistake, but I would probably tear that out of the ground and redo it instead of coming up here and asking you, because there's a lot of time in this, and these people have their hearts set on this floor plan that they've drawn up.
Because I appreciate you coming in before you build. The majority of the time this board sees it after it's already been built. And
It's no fun for nobody.
It's not an issue, you know, it becomes a problem.
Right.
Comments, Mr. Chairman?
Okay, anybody else have any comments or questions? Okay, I'll accept a proposal or a motion to either approve or deny the petition.
Except for number 36.
We'll take them one at a time. We'll take 36 first.
So, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to accept 36 as submitted.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We'll take a roll call vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. No.
Nay. We have 2 nays. Majority rules, it is approved for 36. Okay, we'll take, let's see, what's the next one? 3, isn't it?
Number 4.
4.
I make a motion to accept as submitted for lot 4 of the size setback variance.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll take a voice vote again.
No.
Aye.
Aye.
Nay. It's 3-2 again. That one is approved. Next, we'll take number 10. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to accept lot 10 as submitted with the side setback variance.
I second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Voice vote. Ken?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. No.
Nay. 3-2 also on that one. And number 11. Have a motion?
I make a motion to accept the side setback variance for lot 11 as submitted.
I second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Voice vote. Ken?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. No.
No, it's 3-2 on that one also. So all of them have passed early, but they passed.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Those are all the items that we have before us this evening, and since there's no other business before us, this meeting is adjourned.